morning, 9:50 in the front row. It's me, Sandra. It's Brian Finneran, and another very special guest, Roddy White, is in studio. Roddy, welcome in, and thank you for being here on a Monday.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
Why should you have you? What's going on?
I haven't been able to play football for a team, so, you know.
First time in a long time, man. How's it feel?
It's a little different. It's a little different schedule. You know, been spending a lot more time out there in Phoenix, you know, and getting everything together and just waiting for my moment.
What's going on in Phoenix? Who are you working out with, and what are the guys out there?
I'm at Fisher Sports, and you know, we were literally just running me through five-day workouts every week, so it's Monday through Friday. So
yeah, quarterback out there throwing to you at all? You running around?
You know what? I did catch balls from Carson before he
had to go check in.
Yeah, before he had to go check in and stuff like that, but. There's guys around the gym that throw me the ball, so it's not really that serious to be catching from a quarterback. It's just I just need to see the ball come out of somebody's hand.
Call me. I got a couple of footballs at the house. I'd be happy to throw them to you.
I've seen you throw.
Oh, jeez. Have you seen Roddy throw? This is a funny story, and this is my.
I'm nice though.
Roddy has a cannon for an arm.
I bet.
Did you ever throw a touchdown in college or anything? They have you do a reverse?
In college, yes, not in the pros.
Yeah.
They didn't trust me enough.
So I took.
You're silly.
I don't blame him for not trusting you. But we were at the Dallas Cowboys game. Connor and I were there, and we're in the back of the end zone. And it's always fun to get to catch up with the guys since I've retired. So Roddy was nice enough to come over and say what's up to Connor and hang out. And then he had a ball because they were warming up, and he had a ball, and he's probably 20 yards away.
Yeah.
And he just, when I say rifles one at me, and the night before was a little rough for me. We had a good time. And I wasn't all together, and he fired this thing right, as hard as he could throw it, it felt like.
No.
Spiral, right on top of my head, through both of my hands, and hit some poor son of a bean behind me.
Brian, you got to catch that ball. That's a fail.
That's what he's known for, catching the
ball. Thank you, Roddy. You make a very strong argument.
He's not really running by people, you know.
No.
I blame something called a bud and a wiser. I have something to do with that.
And the bad part about it is the poor lady behind.
Oh no,
geez.
Brian, how can you let that happen?
Right in her forehead.
And then he turns around like he doesn't know what happened.
Wasn't me. Wasn't me. Hey, bunch of Falcon news going around, Roddy. I want to get your take on some of it. Dan Quinn went through the car wash up at ESPN, and they ran him through the ringer up there in the car wash.
Which means he does like 30 interviews in a day with all the ESPN networks and websites and all that mess.
And if Dan Quinn could just coach football, you would think that's what he would like to do. Because not his best moments, I guess you could say, really in front of the media all the time. It's hard to do, and some guys just aren't built for it.
Right.
Sometimes some guys need a class in it. Not only players that come out of college, but some of these coaches that are just become head coaches could learn a lesson or two about how to deal with the media and how to answer questions.
I think so, because it's a daily routine for you, you know, and classes will really, really help some of these guys. I mean, literally when you're a coordinator or anything, you probably get maybe 1-2 interviews, maybe a week, if that, and it's like local guys or, you know, maybe a guy calls you from ESPN and asks you some questions. So it's never over the air. I mean, it's never like seen, you know, you're like in the background, but when you come to head coach, everybody wants to hear what you have to say.
You're the face of the franchise.
So,
yeah.
And
you're always talking.
And catchphrases he's got. The jacked up and he has a handful of them he keeps going to.
He does. He has some new ones. And that's a good one too.
I call him he should be the t-shirt guy.
Why?
Right.
Because all his sayings could go on t-shirts.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Such a contender.
Nerd dog, and then the outfits, Sandra. Do you want to discuss?
I said, of course, that's what I talk about with Roddy. I go, that suit that Dan had on, and I know he has no interest in it. No. But I mean, you know how some guys will show up, they own the room just by walking in. I mean, both of y'all dress.
That would
impeccable.
be me. That would be me.
You dress impeccable. You really do. So I think somebody with the Falcons got to take him over to the men's warehouse and get him suited up. I'm telling you.
No. When you become a head coach and you start making millions, it's time to get these things tailor-made.
I'm with
tailor-made. Sometimes in their base sets playing that Sam linebacker running around. Your thoughts on that, having played with him last year and watching him run around? He had 4 sacks last year. Team was worse than the league with 19 overall. And now he's off the ball even more, not getting after the quarterback like you want him to.
I think that's suitable. I mean, he weighs 240 pounds, so it's tough for him to sit down there in the trenches all day and go against guys. But, you know, that might be good for him because I seen during the season he had a couple plays where, you know, he would run with guys and tight ends and things like that. But he would have to work on that, his covering skills. But being athletic and being sound in that, he's really good at that.
I saw this kid the other day at the rookie dinner. Got a chance to go speak over to those guys. He's a good-looking kid, but he's undersized, and they keep talking about Cam Chancellor, but I don't know that that's going to be the case for him. We'll see. Have you seen him all or seen him play?
I haven't seen him play. I just seen highlights of the draft. So I don't really know what type of player he is, but Cam Chancellor is a grown man.
Yes.
So that's like a whole different, that's like 6'3", 230 pounds. What's this guy, like 6 foot?
Yeah, 6 foot, 210, 220
right,
maybe, 215.
All right. I mean, I played against Cam Chancellor, and I've went against him, and I've hit this guy, and he is rock solid. So
Roddy hit Cam Chancellor so hard, I think I put it on Twitter. I was watching it at my house in the kitchen, and Roddy went in there and cracked Cam Chancellor. I think you knocked his. Did you get a fine?
Did?
Yes, I did.
What do they call it? What was the issue? Like a blindside hit or something?
Yes. You can't do that anymore. I didn't even know that. Like, you can't push crack without the guy actually looking at you before you hit him.
Roddy knocked his helmet off, and I think he caught his helmet. He staggered sideways for a minute. Cam Chancellor did, and then he caught his own helmet.
And the whole time, I just hear him, like, calling my name, cussing. We're, like, literally cussing each other out, like, for the next, like, two or three plays.
And I promise you, both guys were dizzy because they hit so hard. I had to rewind it on my TV and go back and watch it. Higher hunger index. The HHI.
HHI.
That was the first time I ever heard that.
Hunger
Me
index.
too. I didn't know.
No. Roddy, nobody's ever heard the word hunger index put together in the same sentence.
Me either.
Not one
That's
person.
new. That's new.
So translate, Brian. What is he trying to say about Matt?
I guess that
He's hungry.
He's hungry. You want some waffle?
He's
House.
always hungry.
Matt's always played that way, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Never been a question about Matt being hungry.
But could it be he's coming off the worst year of his career, so now he's ready to get back on the field and eat?
Y'all know he was, like, 5th in the league in, like, passing.
Yes.
I know, right?
So, I don't know if that was... I mean, I know he threw a lot of interceptions, but...
Between the 20s, he was great.
Well, the offense was great between
Well,
the
Offense
20s.
was great.
Inside the 20, not so much his fault. Because a lot of things that we practiced, a lot of things that we went over during games, I mean, for games, we didn't run. So there's no familiarity with it. So if you're not familiar with it and you're out there just doing your own thing, then it's going to be mistakes because you're not going out there and executing the things that you said you're going to do in the red zone. So right then, it's like free balling, you know? So you're going to make some mistakes. So.
Let's stay on that for a minute. And then
You
we'll talk
ain't
about
kidding. Let's go to break because everybody wants to know where's Roddy going to play, and if you'll take us kind of inside your world of who, what, where, and how, and why it went so terribly wrong with Kyle Shanahan. And when you're talking about the red zone, that's coming up. Don't move a muscle. Roddy White in studio till noon on the front row driven by Keith. He's a stud. He's a superstar. I personally sure wish he was still going to be wearing the red and black on Sundays. He's Roddy White. He's in studio with Brian and I for the rest of the morning. Roddy, 2005, you're drafted. This is the first June since then, May, June area without a team. How are you mentally with this?
I'm actually pretty good because I've been able to spend a lot more time with my family and friends and going on vacations and things like that. So I had a lot more time, you know, to be with those. My important people in life, you know, that's more important to me than football, you know, and that's what I've been doing. Attending a lot of baseball games and volleyball matches, you know.
for the kiddos.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just moving around, man. It's good, you know. Going to graduations. My daughter just got out of 5th grade, so, you know, she's going to the 6th.
Oh, man.
So, you know, I'm really feeling that right now.
We
Pressure is on.
I'm with you. Good job. When you first got released by the Falcons, and I don't know whether it's just a Falcon fan thing, we all had you penciled in. Tampa Bay's going to get him, and then he's going to play the Falcons. And then, what about the Saints? We went automatically in the division. And then you try to connect the dots when Tennessee, he knows everybody. And none of that's happened yet, and we just kind of sit here waiting. And I'm shocked somebody hadn't got you yet. Brian still thinks there's plenty of time.
Yeah, no doubt. Go ahead, Roddy.
I mean, I've been talking to teams, and you know, our agents we've been offered deals, but nothing that I would consider to be in my best interest, especially at this time in my career. So, you know, it's just been moving forward, you know, and it's slow motion, you know, as it is, but I'm taking it with a stride, you know, and just making sure I'm ready to go.
You miss it?
I don't wanna go into somebody's camp and not be ready.
As far as what?
Physically.
Yeah.
Not mentally, because
Yeah.
I think mentally I get in, I'm gonna be rolling, you know. But
Contender? You want to play for a contender?
absolutely,
The last thing you want to do is be in week 12 and be 4-8.
I
Right.
can't do that.
No, it's not going to be fun. It could happen. Quarterback
It
goes
could
down.
happen. It could happen.
You'll play.
Likely,
Ideally, you want to find a contender.
yes. Then my situation is December. We're playing playoff football. Getting ready to play playoff football.
And there's enough interest out there. We can't name the teams, obviously. But there's enough.
Well, we
interest.
can think about some of them. Obviously, playoff teams. Carolina comes to mind. Seattle Seahawks come to mind. New England Patriots come to mind. Minnesota Vikings. Article by D-Led last week brought up the Minnesota Vikings because of the relationship with George Stewart, who was your first receiver coach in the league. Teddy Bridgewater and a young receiver core up there. So are those some of the things you're looking at? And what's the most important thing for you when you try to pick a new team?
The quarterback, really. You know, it would be good to get with a guy that could actually go out there and play. And
What do you need?
Won a lot of football.
Won a lot of football games. So Teddy Bridgewater in that mix?
Yes, absolutely. He's won a lot of football games. You know, they should have beat Seattle last year in the playoffs. You know, they missed a 20-yard field goal last year, but you know they're on their way up, and they can play defense.
Yep.
You know, they can play defense, and I think that's one of the things that you need. You know, especially in today's football game, all the guys that play good defense win championships.
Certainly seems that way when you look at the last couple of champions in New England and Seattle and Carolina in the mix, and then Denver, obviously, with the beatdown they put on the Panthers. Would the Panthers be an option for you? Would you say no to any team just because of a formal rivalry or back and forth stuff throughout your career?
No,
Right.
not at this point.
The length of a deal make a difference? Are you trying to just squeak out another 1 or 2 or 3?
No, yeah. I mean, a 2 to 3 year deal would be really great, you know. But if I get a 2 year deal, it'd be fine.
You mentioned before the break, I said Matt's amazing in the passing yards in between the 20s. Pardon me. In the red zone, though, there was a struggle to say the least. And tell me, just sum it up, what did Kyle Shanahan put on that offense in the red zone that went horribly wrong?
We just didn't use our red zone package. So it's tough when you go over plays and you practice them on a week-to-week basis, and then you don't do them in the red zone. So your quarterback is unfamiliar with some of the plays that we're bringing into the headset to try to make it work. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough when, you know, the quarterback lines up and the play that he's calling is not even in the red zone category.
That's crazy.
So, you know, when you do that, it's frustrating for the quarterback. But, you know, I mean, we all figure Matt's smart enough and he can handle, you know, a lot. I just feel like this year, it was a lot on his plate, you know, and we didn't try to, like, downsize it to where it was better for him. You know, he's already in charge of everything, and then he had to make the line calls and everything. So that's why I thought, like, early on in Matt's career, Mud Duck was so important to him.
Mud Duck was Todd McClure, center for the Falcons.
Yeah. I mean, Todd McClure, he made all the line calls and everything. So that alleviated Matt for doing that. That's why I think they went out and got the center from Cleveland.
Alex Mack.
Yeah, so he can make all the line calls and things like that.
Which, by the way, we're in the NFL. The center should make every freaking line call, regardless of who it is. And they couldn't do that with Peter Collins. They couldn't do it with other guys that are up there. And even last year.
Exactly. So when you got 30 seconds to run a play, and the quarterback has to read the defense, get the pass play, and, you know, do all those things, the last thing he wants to worry about where the mic point is and what the line call is. You should be able to fix that and get bodies on bodies, you know, as a center, because you're reading the front. That's your job. But you know, we weren't able to do that, so caused some confusion.
Let me ask, and just as a layman's person listening to this, which is, okay, one time that happens in the 20, and you go, well, you get into a meeting room the next week and go, excuse me, that wasn't in the play call for the red zone package. Why did you do that? And can we correct that maybe for next time? Why did it keep happening over and over?
I don't know. I can't give you that answer. It's like these meetings are different. You know, when you get in an NFL meeting, we go over a lot of things, but it's not what you coach, it's what you emphasize, what's important. You know, it's simple plays that we've ran in the red zone that we've had success with over the years. You know, and Matt knows those plays. Well, we don't run those plays, and we have other plays that we figure are similar to those plays, but they're not actually those plays. It's kind of difficult for him to read it out because he's so set in his mind, like, this is the read, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to go with the ball. And then, I mean, we have certain players in certain positions that we shouldn't be putting in those positions, and it causes us to struggle too. So they've been doing that for the last 10, 15 years.
Forever.
You know, and, you know, we just got away from, you know, from drills and stuff to do. So, I mean, they'll be prepared. They'll be ready.